of America's foremost architects, Mr. Frank Lloyd Wright. Frank Lloyd Wright is our next guest, America's foremost architect, the man you read about recently in Life magazine.
Frank Lloyd Wright was born in 1867, and from a young age he loved building and designing. His mother had encouraged his creativity, while his father hoped he would focus on school and music. These early experiences, both support and challenges, shaped his imagination and determination, laying the foundation for revolutionary architecture.
Mr. Wright, I understand that you feel that we are lacking in culture and beauty in this country. Would you care to comment on that, sir?
Well, we're an amazing civilization, but we're a civilization without a culture. And I think it's quite time we began on it, because a civilization never lasts very long without one.
In Frank Lloyd Wright's era, cities were filled with cold, lifeless factories, built for machines, not people. But Wright wanted to change that. He believed architecture should inspire and connect with nature. His first step toward that vision began in Wisconsin with Unity Chapel, a design that showed how buildings could live in harmony with their surroundings. After Unity Chapel, Frank Lloyd Wright began to develop a style that would change architecture forever. While others copied European traditions, Wright created something entirely new, an American architecture built around nature, simplicity, and freedom. He believed a building should grow from its environment, not fight against it. This idea became the heart of his revolution, organic architecture. Homes like the Robbie House and Falling Water showed what was possible. Designs that flowed with land, filled with light, and connected people to the world around them. At first, not everyone understood Wright's visions. His buildings were unlike anything people had seen before, too modern, too bold, and too different. Critics questioned his ideas, and many clients doubted that his designs could even work. But Wright never gave up. As time passed, people began to see what he saw, that architecture could be living art. His designs inspired a new generation of architects to think freely and build with purpose. As his career continued, Wright began to share his vision with others. He founded the Taliesin Fellowship, where young architects came to learn not just how to build, but how to think, to see architecture as living, breathing art. Through his teaching, Wright's influence grew beyond his own designs. His students carried his ideas into the future, shaping the way modern architecture would evolve generations to come. Even as Wright grew older, his creativity never slowed down. He continued to design bold, groundbreaking buildings that pushed the limits of structure and imagination. In the late 1930s, he created one of his most famous works, the Johnson Wax Building, a space filled with light and open columns that seemed to defy gravity. Years later, his design reached new heights with the Guggenheim Museum in New York City, a spiral form unlike anything the world had ever seen. These projects proved that Wright's vision wasn't just a moment in time, it was a movement, one that continued to evolve with every line he drew. But behind Wright's success were moments of deep tragedy and loss. His personal life was often turbulent, marked by his financial troubles, failed relationships, and public scandals. In 1914, a fire at his Taliesin home claimed the lives of several people close to him, a moment that nearly ended his career. Yet, even though heartbreak and ruin, Wright rebuilt, not just his home, but his spirit. Each setback only pushed him to create more boldly, to design buildings that celebrated life, nature, and endurance. Frank Lloyd Wright didn't just design buildings, he designed ideas. His belief that architecture should belong to its environment inspired countless architects to think differently. Students who studied under him at Taliesin carried his philosophy forward, spreading his vision across America and beyond. Decades later, his influence can be seen in the work of modern architects like Ludwig Mies van der Rohe and Le Corbusier, who pushed the boundaries of structure and simplicity in their own ways. Wright's use of natural materials, open space, and harmony between indoors and outdoors became the blueprint for modern living. Even today, more than half a century after his death, his designs remain timeless, a reminder that true architecture doesn't just shelter us, it shapes the way we live. Frank Lloyd Wright's career tells the story of revolution, reaction, and reform. He challenged tradition, faced criticism, and rebuilt again and again, both his structures and his legacy. His revolution reshaped architecture, the reaction tested his ideas, and through reform he changed the way we think about the spaces we call home. Today, his work stands as a living reminder that progress is born from vision, and vision from courage. As Frank Lloyd Wright grew older, his imagination only grew stronger. In his 70s and 80s, while most architects had long retired, Wright was still creating, sketching, building, and challenging everything the world thought it knew about design. His later years were some of his most productive. From the serene lines of the Taliesin West in Arizona to the bold curves of the Guggenheim Museum in New York, Wright continued to reinvent architecture. The Guggenheim, his final masterpiece, stood as a symbol of his lifelong belief that buildings should be living forms of art. By this time, he had become more than an architect. He was a teacher, a mentor, and a legend. Students from around the world came to Tellison to study under him, eager to learn from the man who had revolutionized the way people saw space and nature. Despite fame and recognition, Wright stayed restless. He once said, "An idea is salvation by imagination." And until his very last days, he kept imagining. He designed, he taught, and he dreamed. Right up until his death in 1959 at the age of 91. Even at the end, Wright never stopped believing that architecture could shape not just the world around us, but the way we live within it.